It's 2 a.m. You're lying in the dark, staring at the ceiling. Your body is exhausted from the day, but your brain is still sprinting. Biologically, 3 markers are keeping you awake. Your bloodstream is carrying elevated cortisol, your heart is beating faster than a resting pace, and a network in your brain called the default mode network, or DMN, is hyperactive, trapping you in a loop of anxious thoughts. Millions of people turn to white noise or ambient sleep playlists to mask the silence, but unstructured static lacks the cognitive engagement required to actually shut down a racing mind. It hides the noise of the room, but it doesn't stop the noise in your head. Forcing the nervous system to physically power down requires a structured neuroacoustic intervention, a signal complex enough to occupy the brain's attention until it can no longer sustain a state of alert. Long before modern sleep science, the practitioners of Hindustani classical music developed a sound system built on mathematical precision. They utilized time theory, a framework where specific melodies, known as ragas, were strictly engineered to be played only during late-night hours. Ragas like Malkones or Darbari weren't just art, they were tools designed to balance the listener's internal rhythms. Modern neuroscience is now validating this ancient practice, showing that these night melodies function as precise acoustic pacemakers that can hack the human brain into sleep mode. The first mechanical ingredient is tempo, or laya. A night raga begins with the alap, an introductory phase played at an incredibly slow, unmetered pace. This initiates a biological process called neural entrainment. When you listen to a rigid, slow rhythm, your brain's electrical oscillations physically sync to that external beat. This triggers circuits linking the auditory and motor regions, forcing your body to match the music. As the alap continues, your breathing decelerates and your heart rate drops, eventually pulsing in time with the music. In this state, the raga acts as an external pacemaker, overriding a racing cardiovascular system and physically locking it into a state of rest. The second ingredient is pitch. Unlike the fixed, blocky notes of a standard piano, Hindustani music utilizes shrutis, subtle microtonal frequencies that exist between the standard notes. These microtones are incredibly nuanced. To follow the melody, your auditory cortex has to pay extreme attention to the tiny glides or means between the pitches. This forced concentration requires the same level of focus as deep meditation. By keeping the brain occupied with tracking these micro-variations, the raga effectively suppresses activity in the default mode network, the region where anxious, racing thoughts reside. Because the brain's processing power is biologically occupied by the complexity of the music, it is mechanically prevented from agonizing over daily stressors. We can see this shift happening in real time on an EEG. Exposure to these specific musical scales forces the brain to shift out of waking beta waves and down into relaxed alpha and theta waves. Ancient musicologists categorized the emotional resonance of these scales as rasa, a specific mood for every raga. Modern research shows these moods stimulate the limbic system to lower stress hormones like cortisol. This drop in cortisol is the chemical trigger that allows these rolling waves to slow even further into delta waves, the signature of deep sleep. The raga doesn't just feel peaceful, it initiates the specific neurochemical chain reaction necessary to cross the threshold into restorative rest. This nighttime musical tradition is effectively a form of chronobiology. It is a system designed to align human consciousness with our natural circadian rhythms. If you struggle with sleep, replace unstructured noise with 20 minutes of a nighttime raga. By letting the heart entrain to the slow rhythm and the brain ride the microtonal glides, you use music structure to silence the mind. This 3,000-year-old framework provides a scientifically proven psychosomatic off-ramp from the anxiety of the modern day.